Hello, and welcome to the Equitable Communities Initiative Educator Diversity Request for Investment information session. My name is Mustafa Balali, and my role at the Department of Education and Early Learning is the Equitable Communities Advisor, and I'll be your presenter today. Before we get started, please have a printed or electronic version of the RFI document to reference. You can find a copy of the RFI document on the Department of Education and Early Learning Funding Opportunities page at www.seattle.gov/education/for-providers/funding opportunities. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please submit your questions to DEEL funding@seattle.gov with the subject line questions ECI Educator Diversity RFI. During today's session, we will be going over the following agenda items: an overview of the Equitable Communities Initiative Educator Diversity RFI, the application overview and expectations, and next steps in submitting questions. So why is this funding opportunity happening? The Department of Education and Early Learning is excited to invite applications from community-based organization and sole proprietor for DEEL's Equitable Communities Initiative Educator Diversity Request for Investment. This funding opportunity was established by the City of Seattle as part of DEEL's 2022 budget and allocates up to $700,000 to support programs that increase the racial diversity of the educator workforce, provide professional learning opportunities to Black, Indigenous, people of color, educators, and increase the organizational capacity of CBOs and sole proprietors working to support educator diversity. Eligible applicants may submit an application that funds a proposal up to a maximum of $150,000. During the landscaping and community engagement process, DEEL completed a comprehensive literature review to identify best practices and evidence related to educator diversity, reviewed existing Seattle Public School data on student and teacher demographics, conducted a community survey for partners to communicate the upcoming investment opportunity, understand the breadth of work being done, and identify where partners may need to support in the RFI process to allow for smaller grassroots organizations to apply. We also completed 11 key informant interviews with key CBOs. We conducted youth listening sessions across 3 community organizations as well. We gathered community feedback to help develop the strategies and outcomes to support decisions on programs that should be funded by this investment. The organizations we spoke with during the youth listening sessions are Muslimas Against Abuse Center, Key to Change, Somos Mujeres Latinas as well. This graphic is meant to highlight the educator pipeline and the associated program strategies we hope to propose. The recommended program strategies are as follows: entry, teacher education program retention, in-service classroom retention, advancement, professional and organizational development. The next slide explains these program strategies in greater detail. The following diagram outlines both the program strategies and program outcomes. The first program strategy is entry. What we mean by that is outreach and recruitment of BIPOC educator candidates, enrolling recruits into high quality and supportive teacher prep programs. The associated outcome with this program strategy is outcome 1, increased outreach, recruitment, and enrollment of aspiring BIPOC educators in teacher preparation programs. The second program strategy is teacher education program retention. What we mean by that is supporting educator candidates throughout teacher preparation programs. The associated outcomes are outcome 2, increased teacher preparation program retention and completion of aspiring BIPOC educators. Outcome 3, increased access to supplementary curriculum that focuses on positive identity development of BIPOC educators. The third program strategy is in-service/classroom retention. What is meant by that is supporting newly certified educators in placement and first years of teaching, as well as supporting existing BIPOC educators. The associated outcome is outcome 4, increased access to professional development and mentoring opportunities for BIPOC educators promoting retention and job satisfaction. The fourth program strategy is advancement. By advancement, we mean supporting existing BIPOC educators interested in teaching, leadership, or admin certification. Outcome 5 is associated with this program strategy, which is increased access to professional development and mentoring support for BIPOC educators promoting career advancement. The last program strategy is professional and organizational development. For this strategy, we mean organizational development and evaluation activities to expand services for community-based organizations currently engaged in programming that supports educator diversity, as well as supporting existing BIPOC educators who are non-teaching staff in obtaining necessary credentials to be classroom teachers. And the associated outcomes for this program strategy are outcome 6, increase organizational capacity, which is operations financial development program strategy of community-based organizations working on educator diversity outcomes. And the last outcome 7, increase access to professional development opportunities for non-teaching staff working in educational spaces to advance in the field. The purpose of this investment is to increase bilingual and racially/ethnically diverse educator representation and retention in Seattle and improving student performance for all students, specifically Black, Indigenous, and students of color. Provided criteria for these investments include commitment to racial equity and directing resources to support current and future BIPOC educators that serve youth attending schools within the Seattle city limits. Demonstrated history of supporting BIPOC educators, experience achieving positive outcomes for BIPOC educators serving youth attending schools within Seattle city limits. Selected applicants will receive one-time funding up to $150,000. The term of the investment is one-time programmatic funding beginning September 2022 at the earliest and ending December 2023 at the latest. During this section, please feel free to follow along using the RFI overview document or the application template. To have a complete and compliant application, the following pieces must be finished: the new online registration form, your cover sheet, Section 1, Program Strategies, Section 2, Community Informed Outcomes, Section 3, Data Use and Continuous Quality Improvement Plan, Section 4, Labor Harmony, your COVID-19 addendum, and the budget template sheet. I want to introduce DEEL's new online registration system that helps streamline part of the application process. It's required you complete the online form to have a complete application package. You will automatically receive an email receipt once you've submitted it. The form will ask for a point of contact as well as a summary of your program/service proposal. For the application cover sheet, please provide your organization's information, applicant contact information, and summary of program/service proposal. The organizational information section assesses the alignment of your organization's attributes with the criteria described in the RFI. Please answer the following question: a description of your organization's mission and how the work of your organization prioritizes serving BIPOC educators and the youth they serve. A description of your organization's experience providing the type of service proposed. Alternatively, a description of the ways in which the organization plans to acquire the capacity to add this to their body of services. For the program strategies section, describe your program and how it fits into one or more of the following program strategies. The program strategies are entry, teacher education, program retention, in-service/classroom retention, advancement, and professional and organizational development. For the program outcomes section, describe the impact your program has had thus far on BIPOC educators and the youth they serve in Seattle. what impact you have planned for the next year, and how this impact aligns with two or more of the outcomes above, answering each of the following questions. How does your program's intended outcomes align with the program services offered as outlined in the program description in the program strategy section? How does your program's impact and intended impact align with at least two of the program outcomes and any additional proposed outcomes? And lastly, how will your program utilize funding to accomplish outcomes? This section asks organizations to create a data use and continuous quality improvement plan that serves as a reflection tool for organizations so they can ensure responsiveness to student and educator needs throughout the different phases of program implementation, and that future iterations of this program incorporate lessons learned. Successful CQI plans will include the following. Your proposed program captures outcomes, which is youth/educator surveys, tracking of data points, etc., and uses data-informed future planning and programming. Specifically, how your proposed program utilizes quantitative and/or qualitative data to support continuous quality improvement processes to check and adjust program strategies/interventions and implement programming responsiveness to youth need. Also, your organization identifies and addresses educator barriers to accessing services, and your organization partners with youth, educators, and/or community accessing your services. For your application to be compliant, you must submit a completed budget submission template. You can find this document on the DEEL Funding Opportunities webpage. The budget submission template is broken down into two tables. Table 1 is personnel expenditures. This asks you to list positions associated with your proposed program and to outline roles and responsibilities for each position and any variation in FTE. The second table is non-personnel expenditures, such as subcontracts, supplies, materials, transportation, and other proposed expenditures. Please note that indirect costs cannot exceed 15%. To have a compliant application, the labor harmony section must be completed. In this section, please indicate if your agency is committed to avoiding labor disputes that disrupt services by checking the appropriate box, yes or no, and if your organization has standard practices and policies that uphold this principle, such as a labor harmony agreement or a collective bargaining agreement, please attach with your submission as a separate file. For the COVID-19 addendum, please provide a brief description of how the impacted programming/services identified above may be sustained or if they would need to be suspended in the event of unforeseen school closures or the inability to provide direct in-person services to identified focus students. In terms of this application scoring, City of Seattle staff and community members will be part of the review panel process and will utilize the score sheet shown on this slide. Important dates to note during the application process are the first technical assistance session, which will take place Wednesday, May 11th, 2022 from 2:30 to 4 p.m. The last day to submit questions is Wednesday, May 18th, 2022 by 4 p.m. The RFI applications are due Monday, May 23rd, 2022 by 3 p.m. Applications will be reviewed and rated between May 31st through June 13th, 2022. Review panel deliberations will occur between June 20th to June 24th, 2022, and notifications will be issued to applicants on Friday, July 8th, 2022. Your application will be deemed technically compliant if it is submitted on time by Monday, May 23rd, 2022 by 3 p.m., submitted electronically to dealfunding@seattle.gov. If sections 1 through 4 are typed, size 11 font, single double space, page numbered, and submitted with all other sections, Your labor harmony agreement is completed. So that means you've checked either yes or no and provided any accompanying documents. Your COVID-19 addendum is complete in the space provided, single or double space, size 11 font with a maximum of 500 words, and your signature is in the application form. Please mark your calendars for the technical assistance session taking place Wednesday, May 11th, 2022, virtually from 2:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. TA sessions are not mandatory, but you are encouraged to attend. Please refer to the DEEL webpage under Funding Opportunities for updates and announcements. Note that the following TA session will give organizations a chance to ask DEEL staff questions regarding the RFI. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you at the technical assistance session.